evidence answers the work evidence indicates that questions of epistemology and ontology are not relevant in international relations. We have especially historical statements in order to prove that the truth claims that we made are probably accurate. How evidence indicates the process of international relations, which means that there's checks in the process, there's self-reflexivity means that people who check the process means that arguments are most likely true. Criticisms of the piece of work evidence history is on our favorite public Venetian war with the Dutch saying worse than 1500s, well as the Spanish English war in the 1600s when I prove arguments of why transition works empirically, escalating cause conflicts, escalation in nuclear war in context, and the current concept of nuclear and NIAM's cause extinction is dissension to the alternative united to lash around the world, in which we have been stating independently cause extinction of space advantage at the top of these, or literary criticism of our space policy, natural scientific criticism means you do not think that credibility or Udowski evidence indicates doesn't disprove the true claims that astros coming stats going and good cause extinction doesn't hurt the political process and improves the political process. The Harrison space of the planet community cooperating hard to deletion by products faithfully free beyond the market of the public plan fast means actually essentially the space to live in the nation rates most of the area you seek need for class the political system to work space with the science of combination reality focus as you get a to let's just do so space opportunity and solutionalized space education. This is a disadvantage to the alternative space arguments why space education particularly political space education necessary in order to prevent outcomes as space science. Next piece of this is another type of literary criticism makes argument about our framing for space arguments to disprove the truth claims of but that doesn't escalate in violence because we've had to focus on space. That is in that role there's nothing alternative to be able to solve the problems and we will impact on the argument. We need to prepare ourselves properly for an extinction. This can be here and not impact for national consequences of the life planning for such as necessary because action that remediation cut with the remaining plan execution not play the legs as vulnerable to threats astral impact to play crucial soul kind of information to the life and threat is very real. We can positive about the means for impact planning our civilization from annihilation out of the critique mass extinction outweighs ethics etc. violence etc. impacts are particularly not the history of the immigration system and existence outweighs other impacts necessary for the eye that can be ethically or meaning the skeleton of 94 whether a young success application from the possible evidence and economics of these matters resource find relation to health exists rather than care about certain mortality and happiness the worth of that anything fundamental cannot be overtaken on the consideration of for about one if you don't care about anything else permanently beings become impossible stream of self-friends rather than human persuasion and you care about an ethics child value the consequences of God's government 2005. The reality policy just by not intention of also explain the consequence of the action more. World seeks solution minimize hard trying to prevent peace by the policy to more with death resulting more having the most moral outcome the final moral concept of the board of culture policy subsequently led us way the first plan and because to eliminate fairness by arbitrarily constructed world where the only the negative taxes on they eliminate the entire policy which eliminates the only affirmative advantage that counts as social benefit and negative block there or if your framework second choosing to the affirmative this is prerequisite to productive class that returns to educational value of the critique arguments and policy relevances and exclusionary fosters and focus academic pluralism we can better capture the middle ground with seated without seeing political degeneracy and a lot of activities culture and a lot of progressive circles formal loving more than the policy areas and human rational thought of social political discipline such as political science and international history and such philosophy and ability misdominant self-referential policy I spent the cash policy such as flying from the realm without dominant reforms called problems accurate untouched identifying the system of problem policy differences in many capital private often parts of things takes the limited policy media interest active policy spend flavorable the war and have sold policy grounds and the policy analysis based on facts and objective evaluation that avoids a slide and violent non-democratic democratic policy alternative suppression hierarchy post positive arguments do the contrary have no logical 99 potential problem of our bodies been sensitive research the policy occupies an intelligent high ground policy field to policy effect on hierarchical destruction top down mastery the police policy policy sharper from the possible is in the social reflect fund can stop untimed can be more precise because our dreaming on speed discourse comes down in discourse part by MT and go inform discussion power parts and plus creative policy policy to stay far from the even policy to talk and back most makers just by paying no attention plus work so I mean actually that are that will responsible even subsidiary the political agenda policy analysis like to be ethical committed group policy table for the policy connected with intellectual integrity policy analysis I recognize that changes the environment context comparison knowledge creating the process and being realistic I understand the tools policy analysis better craft policy analysis will you feature my problems the broad policy making social hierarchical the USP techniques right center policy history the industry public programs policy markets political will continue to ensure reality check practice will call for the corrective policies continue a refresh critical works research trade prediction will bring fresh perspectives and concrete research on the pragmatics of immigration and central social states past or and before Agrees power, I rise with passive pressure, politics, powers against my back, the alternate parts of mental illness, and realistic, political problems, but I guess cannot fear draw, or live opposition, the merchant, chemistry, all church, cannot see the merchant, benevolence, social, not disclose, the one, engage with the willing to be fire, like such critical, world, such many more human, policy frameworks, not English, actually, history, parts, so that all runs in some, let's become immigration lawyers and focus on the details of immigration policy, scruples, and there's a huge need for lawyers willing to work, groups of interest, other than battle power, immigration, work, power, young parts, best, president, the immigrant work, session, not discovery, each hour, particularly immigration, force, plans, believe, not developing creative and marching about factors we are able to envision legal rules and claim that they can serve a larger collective structure, encourage chemical legal returns to work without funding legal service support development of the marching organization movements, development materials, explain, defend, the pursuit, analysis, one of the counter, the coordination, the help resolve such how it should frame and find issues and stand when epistemology fails. In the context of epistemology, friends, larger structures of immigration quality have. You focus on the big picture issues and how it relates to the state is near. And technology structure immigration remains massive, existing millions by the fact that we're trying to utilize the labor striking, the support, focus, and agency exploitation of immigration labor, and to the person starts to list of immigrants and not saying a long-term for pages of stories, like provide comfort about what we know immigrants, whether disable our understanding of economic crisis and neoliberalism, and implementation of both weird and action, our remove restrictions, we are consistent with the direction of the alternative, because they say they provide the visas and crosses once you valid from the perspective of the immigrant, we should probably just let them in because they want for the plan, the alternative policies, data, this retaliation, this Cunningham, and 10. Although it's many guesswork problem worse than already visible working together, no way the cell terms already offers seriously. False scrolls can trace vacancies, records, organized space, human condition, advantage, and boosting on the server, how to the political set, etc. Keep possible loss of first of this xenophobia escalates, it's not wider. And 1920 declares abortion on the birth beyond by massive impulse to immigrants, rather than just political consequences for result of violence, social result. It's still coupled by cross-border ideas, local elements, and five states, and the policy, never quite political percent. It's understand aggressive clinical finding these sex missiles for invasion and visas are a crucial form of diplomacy, but prevent large-scale warfare. This is large-scale warfare. This is Stringer. And 4. The visa is implemented to communicate discontinuation of the developing the weapon of the use in situation below the boundary of our visa with within the same level of sanctions, restrictions, selling travel, it's all from 2 forms. Political sanctions are objective find tool that are more effective for achieving more positive when the economic is more effective when places like the government sanctions. But the government should be designed to exert pressure and the police when exerting an impossible visa policy to square this kind of contract since it allows the direct application of government police in their country they use one time to be political leaders and national distinctions are inevitability and precondition from politics that can eliminate this credit. And 2000 never seen in the world of the what's some forbidden and the citizen rights and duties must be lived by. The matters of territory, political ideals, nationals, and limited space and limited political realities only impossible to feel national identity, ethically identify the humanity leads to violent individuals in McConnell. And 2. Teach children instead of existing in the world, they become most distraction and telling officials after possible plans is great. And substitute the world community, the local community director, medical, which were the people possible if like they try to be structured. The moral communities call these inaction, moral references to be undermined the very basic natural science, justification, self-individuation, the alternative. It fails, people feel strong about national solidarity, they simply won't give it up. History sports is Miller. And 95 majority of people are treated attached to their inherent national identity, think their obligation to possible people valuing the rich and folks with their membership of nation, break the diet. The idea that you regard the national identity and historic affairs of the national identity seems more reasonable to work. From within political engagement is and potentially flawed discourse is paramount refusal to engage in Italy corrupts politics, mayors Germany 30s as well as and next week our intellectual checks and compromise skills community I don't like to reach not so they have mission to play the world fighting nothing for all short of the mission and the people who work out to and the learning the primarily westward with substitute of some responsible for the environment for the ideological schools to encourage the like policy the following the teaching marks for in terms of limiting the avoid recruiting that students stop radically critical and so contribute the underlying public to live within the relative open civil side responsibility to contribute to the civil side rather than undermine it and read some of those sociobiology which is somewhere in this document. If I find it. Group identification is dealt with the Sean and 87 inclusive and disclosure combining reinforcements presents benefit of groups of general related niches promoted to view fear today times force related related niches for strange interpretation response cost for shapes so apparently 99% of human existence in group identification is central to human evolution to Shaw. And 87 ethnicity has access to orthodox model and least rather than infantile from the images on the mass of good faith and organs in the future. Further devices to have general related and involved in nuclear divided ultimate race and that groups managed to depend wood. This is all the 100 for the capture not iron that's part of the aggression competition as separate from the election one below the class of the poly freezing phobia. Intertext were strange as far as closing the program and will be increasing and when they have selection of data sets and great probably with those greatly increasing capacity recognizing and versus some
one of these cards.
Which one?
Either that.
And you can't just love immigrants, you have to try to prove the system. This Derrida in 1. There's no model class party only crossing the court and course and prove class party control since they come in the one ask your name which another short class present if one respect the other because class is not possible it's possible. This I think really could say all even certain language one people last was common about everyone how to have straight out with others and practically forming the 4 cries. We can provide the ability to the shots party with the change laws immigration this certain number of states where government states policy without the shots which we can fish party other governments and no sort of protect the other people so we can't leave no help no source but we have a protectability it's impossible as a rule. Case impact ways you can't vote on ethics and constitutional immigration as well like I said here African concepts and hospital more public service creative additional immigration national communities are still more than the base but immigration perspective for selection just public states for an academic which has not to seek to evade the world and select immigration policy instead struggle with common traditions which emphasize hospitality.
And what was the last part you were reading?
The last part is it makes arguments why you can't vote ethically.
No, what was the
Bill Backs in '96?
Oh, Banks, and that was right after the Derrida?
Yeah.
Okay, and both of those are in this document?
Yeah, they were between where I jumped to the sociology stuff, they were somewhere in the middle.
Okay, I got you. Okay, your Derrida argument says that we have to understand politics that in a situation of hospitality. What does that mean?
It compares unconditional hospitality, which would be things that are
Right.
inclusive of your alternative, where we say we shouldn't work with the visa system, we should just be open to other people,
Okay.
versus the alternative frame of conditional hospitality. And he says, while he's supportive
Now,
of unconditional
okay, how about
hospitality,
this?
he realizes that it's not a
Okay,
pragmatic
I got you.
or a
I
realistic-
understand your negotiation argument. However, the reason that Derrida says we have to have negotiation is that there are certain undeconstructible facts about ethics, such as justice is undeconstructible because we are only have subjectivity by virtue of being in relation with others. He says that for politics to happen, which is deconstructible, we have to negotiate the aporia of acting justicely, which is an impossible task. Do you have a single
but he
piece of
says
evidence
that-
that say?
he-
Do you
this
have a
piece
piece of
of-
evidence that says that hegemony is consistent with negotiating unconditional hospitality?
Not hegemony, but on the process of liberalizing immigration laws. This piece of evidence is pretty phenomenally good. It makes the argument as to why that is a step towards unconditional
Do you have a piece of
hospitality.
evidence that says that the visa regime is the conditional form of hospitality that Derrida is talking
I'm
about?
pretty sure, I mean, it doesn't use the word visa, but the way in which it describes
How about
conditional
this? Do you have a
hospitality
piece
to
of
allow
evidence that
certain
says that it is a liberal immigration policy to allow immigrants to come into the country so that we can maintain
It's not
global
so that, there's no
competition
so
with our
that, there's no
rivals?
so that. The plain text is just let people come into the country.
Right.
We have advantages to them coming into the country.
But
We
you
can
can't
question whether
separate.
hegemony
You've
is
read
good.
cards
Obviously,
such
if
as-
you win, hegemony is
No, I
bad,
want to
that's
talk about
relevant to
this.
our affirmative.
What your response to what I just said kind of
Yeah.
separated the plan from the broader advantages in
Yes.
which they're situated.
Yes.
However, you've read multiple cards about nativism and how national identity occurs, which is through how people feel, right? You say that people just feel like they need to be tied together through
I
social
mean, it's more than a
biology.
feeling. I think our evidence goes
What is
deeper
more?
as to
Okay, explain
talking
that.
about
What is more than the feeling then? What is it?
that piece. We read social biology evidence first of all, which is like a whole separate debate. But the evidence I read about why sort of nationalism is inevitable makes arguments as to why people are inevitably tied to, I guess, a system that allows for them to not have to take care of all of their own survival. So they
Okay,
have to
I'm
farm
going
their
to grant you part A of this argument, that for the sake of cross-sex, people feel biologically tied together through
It's not
community.
biologically. It's just
You
you
said
don't have to take
your
care of
shot
all.
evidence is
If you live by
sociobiology.
yourself in the middle of the forest, do you realize all the shit you have to
To an
do?
extent, it is definitely about emotion.
I haven't asked my second part of the question. Why is the conclusion that people will then discharge xenophobia in a violent way an inevitability?
They'll discharge xenophobia violently in a world in which we just let all the immigrants into the country because there's a bunch of racist
Why is that a
assholes in the United States.
biological inevitability?
That's not biological inevitability.
Then what
Or
is-
the evidence about natives
Then
and
why does it
colonization
matter if we have a biological incentive to group together and identify?
Because it means the alternative can't solve, because we would inevitably sort of revert back to the nation state.
It's like even, you can't create an alternative affect if there are precognitive reasons that people.
Like, where the
feel
fuck is there a
affect.
is it
Which
a
card?
state?
Which card says affect is biological?
I don't think there's a card that explicitly makes that
Just
connection.
wanted to make sure.
But I mean, if it's precognitive,
Hey,
it's
real
not
fast,
rational,
did you make
I don't
a
know what
perm?
else.
Yes.
Just permed you
It's
both.
unconscious.
Are there any others? Just one permed you both.
Yeah.
Okay.